Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, May 24th, 2021. Today we're going to recap the weekend's NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, WNBA and MLB games. Look ahead to today's game in each sport. I'll do my NBA and NHL awards ballots for the season. I'll go over the latest news and notes. We'll recap the American Idol finale and my best bet of the day. All right, we're going to start the NBA playoffs, which it really began and underway on Saturday. But we will go over everything that got on between Friday and yesterday. So without further ado, here we go. Friday night, the Grizzlies over the Warriors, 117-112 in overtime for that last playoff spot in the Western Conference. What a win for Memphis. Ja Morant, 35 points and 6 assists. Stephen Curry, 39 points to lead Golden State. And then he turned the page to Saturday, and the real playoffs began. Game 1, Bucks over the Heat, 109-107 in overtime. The Bucks 1-0 series lead. Chris Middleton, 27 points and 6 assists to lead the Bucks. Goran Dragic had 25 for Miami. Game 1, Mavericks upset the Clippers 113-103. Luka Doncic, 31 points, 10 boards, 11 assists, a triple-double for Luka. And Kawhi had 26, 10, and 5 for the Clippers as Dallas goes up 1-0 in the best of 7. Nets over the Celtics 104-93 to take a 1-0 series lead. Kevin Durant, 32 points, 12 boards. For Brooklyn, Jason Tatum had 22 and 5 assists for Boston. Trailblazers over the Nuggets 123-109 to take a 1-0 series lead. Damian Lillard, 34 points and 13 assists for Portland. Nikola Jokic, 34 points, 16 boards for Denver. All right, Sunday. The 76ers over the Wizards 125-118 to take a 1-0 series lead in Game 1. Tobias Harris had 37 points for Philly. And Ben Simmons did not have a triple-double. I thought he did. Joel Embiid had 30 and 6. That's a great game for him. And then for Washington, Bradley Beal had 33 with 10 boards. Suns over the Lakers 99-90 to take a 1-0 series lead. Devin Booker, 34 points and 8 assists in his playoff debut. And LeBron James had 18 and 10 for the Lakers. Hawks over the Knicks 107-105 on a game-winning shot by Trae Young with .9 left on the clock to give the Hawks a 1-0 series lead. Young, 32 points and 10 assists for Atlanta. Alec Burks led the Knicks in scoring 27 points for New York. And the Grizzlies over the Jazz 112-109 to take a 1-0 series lead as the 8 seed pulls off the Game 1 upset. Dylan Brooks, 31 points for Memphis. Bojan Bogdanovic, 29 points to lead the Jazz in scoring. All right, only 2 games tonight, 7:30 on TNT. Game 2 between the Heat and the Bucks. My projected lines here for this game. Milwaukee 6.5 total, 225. Meanwhile, FanDuel has this at 4.5 and 222.5. Tough one here. I'm gonna go over 222.5. I was gonna lay with the Bucks, but I think there's a world where the Heat win. So we go over 222.5, and then 10 o'clock on TNT, you have the Blazers at the Nuggets. I'm at Denver 2 total 228 as my projected line. No Jamal Murray, no Will Barton. And it's Denver 1.5 total 227. Ooh, this is tough. Very tough. I don't know what to do here because it's literally in line to what I project. But for the sake of the podcast, I'll go over 227 as my pick for this game for the podcast, although I wouldn't bet it. And in terms of who wins straight up, I'm going to say Milwaukee and Denver. Alrighty, now I'm going to move on to the Stanley Cup playoffs from the weekend. We will begin with Friday night's results. Bruins over the Capitals 4-1 and to take a 3-1 series lead. Number 3 started the game with a goal, Brad Marchand. Number 2 started the game with a goal and assist, David Pastrnak. And the number 1 started the game with 3 assists, Charlie McAvoy. We'll do some scoring here. First period, no score. Second period, Brad Marchand, second of the postseason from David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy. 1-0 Boston. Third period, David Pastrnak on the power play, first of the postseason. Assisted by David Krejci and Charlie McAvoy, 2-0 Boston. And then not even a minute later, Charlie Coyle's first of the postseason. Assisted by Jake DeBrusk and Nick Ritchie. 3-0 Boston. 4:54 into the third. Alex Ovechkin, second of the postseason on the power play. Assisted by Nick Backstrom and John Carlson, 3-1. And then with almost 5 minutes left in the game, Matt Grzelcyk on the power play, first of the postseason. Assisted by Charlie McAvoy and Taylor Hall. 4-1 Bruins was your final. Predators over the Hurricanes 5-4 in overtime on a game winner by Matt Duchene at the 14:54 mark of the second overtime. He was the number 1 starter of the game with the overtime winner. Number 2 started the game with a goal and assist, Philip Forsberg. Number 3 started the game with 52 saves on 56 shots, Juuse Saros. First period, 4:55 mark, Ryan Ellis first of the postseason, assisted by Colton Sissons. And who got the other assist here? Tanner Janot. 1-0 Nashville. At the 15:44 mark, Sebastian Aho's third of the postseason ties it at 1. With 35 seconds left of the period, Phil Forsberg, second of the playoffs, assisted by Matthias Ekholm and Juuse Saros, 2 on Preds. Second period, 3:31 in, Jordan Stahl's third of the postseason, assisted by Warren Fogle, 2-2. At the 12:46 mark, Vincent Trocheck's first of the postseason on the power play, assisted by Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov, 3-2 Canes. Then Nashville ties it at 3 apiece on a power play goal by Mikael Granlund. His first of the postseason, assisted by Eric Kalla and Roman Josi at 3 apiece. Then 5:01 into the third, Ryan Johansson gives the Preds a 4-3 lead, assisted by Ryan Ellis and Philip Forsberg. Then, with 3:21 left in regulation, the Hurricanes tie the game at 4-4 on a goal by Brett Pesky. His first of the postseason, assisted by Teuvo Teravainen and Sebastian Aho. Then at the 14:54 mark in double overtime, Matt Duchene scores the game winner, assisted by Roman Josi and Austin Courier. So, what a game it was between these two teams, for sure. Jets over the Oilers, 1-0 in overtime on a game winner by Paul Stastny to give the Jets a 2-0 series lead, as he was the number 1 starter of the game. Number 2 started the game with 38 saves on 38 shots, Connor Hellebuyck. Number 3 started the game with 35 saves on 36 shots, Mike Smith. So it was 4:06 into overtime, where Stastny scored the game winner, assisted by Andrew Kopp and defenseman Tucker Pullman. Avs over the Blues 5-1 to give the Avs a 3-0 series lead. The number 3 started the game with 31 saves on 32 shots. Philip Grubauer, number 2, started the game with a goal. Tyler Bozak in the number 3 started the game with a goal and 2 assists. Defenseman Ryan Graves. First period, no goals. Second period, Graves scores to give the Avs a 1-0 lead. And then the Avs go up 2-0 on a goal by Alex Newhook, assisted by Ryan Graves and Valerie Nishukin. And that was 12:37 into the period. And by the way, Graves' was almost 2 minutes in. Tyson Yost gives the Avs a 3-0 lead, his first of the postseason at the 16:08 mark, assisted by Mikko Rantanen and Gabriel Landeskog. Then, 9 seconds later, the Blues scored shorthanded on a goal by Tyler Bozak, assisted by Colton Parayko and Ryan O'Reilly. 3-1 Blues. Third period, 13:42 mark. Brandon Saad's second of the postseason, assisted by Alexander Burakovsky and Carl Soderberg. 4-1 Colorado. And then into the empty net, JT Compher shorthanded with 54 seconds left, assisted by Ryan Graves and Pierre-Edouard Bellemare to give the Avs the 5-1 lead and the win. Saturday, Lightning over the Panthers 6-2 in game number 4. Now I'm just going to do the stars of the game. I didn't really have time to go through the scoring summary. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals and 2 assists. Alex Killorn. Number 2 started the game with 39 saves on 41 shots. Alexander Vasilevsky. Number 1 started the game with a goal and 3 assists. Nikita Kucherov. I'll just say the goal scorers, though. Anthony Cirelli, Yanni Goudreau, Jonathan Huberdeau, Andre Palat, Killorn twice. Then, from the Panthers, Carter Verhaeghe and Kucherov again on the power play. Islanders over the Penguins 4-1 to even up that series at 2 apiece. Number 3 started the game with a goal, Josh Bailey. Number 2 started the game with a goal, Ryan Pulock. Number 1 started the game with 29 saves on 30 shots, Ilya Sorokin. No scoring in the first. And then in the second, it was Josh Bailey and Ryan Pulock for the Isles. Third period, Oliver Wahlstrom on the power play, Jordan Eberle on the power play. Then Zach Aston reached shorthanded as the garbage time goal for the Penguins. Maple Leafs over the Canadiens 5-1 to even up the series at 1 apiece. Number 3 started the game with a goal, Jason Spezza. Number 2 started the game with a goal and assist, William Nylander. Number 1 started the game with a goal and 2 assists, Austin Matthews. Jesperi Kotkaniemi opened up the scoring in the first, and Jason Spezza to tie it at 1. Second period, Austin Matthews and Rasmus Sundin. And in the third period, William Nylander and Alexander Kerfoot. Golden Knights over the Wild 4-0 to give the Knights a 3-1 series, not 3-0. They could be up 3-0 if it wasn't for Joel Eriksson Ek. Or it could, I'm sorry, they would have been, and then it would have been a sweep. Number 3 started the game with the goal, Alex Tuck. Number 2 started the game with 35 saves on 35 shots, Marc-Andre Fleury. Number 1 started the game with the goal, Mark Stone. The goal scorers in this game for the Golden Knights, Nick Roy, who scored twice, Alex Tuck, and Mark Stone. Sunday, Preds over the Canes 4-3 in double overtime, again to tie up the series at 2 on a goal by Luke Kunin at the 16:10 mark in double overtime. Kunin was number 1 started the game with the double overtime winner and scored to open up the game 57 seconds in. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals, Brock McGinn. Number 3 started the game with 58 saves on 61 shots, Juicy Soros. Other than Kunin, twice, the other goal scorers were Vincent Trocheck in the first as well as Kunin. Second period, Ryan Johansson and McGinn. Third period, McGinn and Nick Cousins. And in a double overtime, Luke Kunin. Avs over the Blues 5-2 to end that series in a sweep. Number 1 started the game with a goal and assist, Mikko Rantanen. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals, Vladimir Tarasenko. Number 3 started the game with a goal and an assist, Gabriel Landeskog. No scoring in the first. Then the second, Vlad Tarasenko opens the scoring, and then Brendan Saad on the power play and Gabriel Landeskog. And then the third, Mikko Rantanen. Tarasenko again on the power play. McKinnon on the power play, 6th of the postseason, by the way. And then Valeri Nichushkin on the power play to close it out for the Avs. Bruins over the Capitals 5-1 to advance in 5 games. Number 1 started the game with 40 saves on 41 shots, Tuukka Rask. Number 2 started the game with 2 goals, Patrice Bergeron. Number 3 started the game with a goal, Connor Sheary. No scoring in the first. Second period, David Pastrnak and Patrice Bergeron. Third period, 11 seconds in, Connor Sheary. And then Patrice Bergeron with the one that put it away in the third, so Bergeron scored twice. Jets over the Oilers, 5-4 in overtime on a game winner by Nikolaj Ehlers as the Jets come back from 3 down to top the Oilers. Number 1 started the game with the overtime winner and the first goal of the game for the Jets, Nikolaj Ehlers. Number 2 started the game with a goal and assist, Josh Morrissey. Number 3 started the game with 2 goals and an assist, Leon Draisaitl. Draisaitl scored the first 2 goals of the game in the first period. Then in the second period was Ehlers and Zach Kazin. Third period goals were scored by Juhar Kayara, Matthew Perrault, Blake Wheeler, Josh Morrissey, and then Ehlers in OT. All right, tonight's games, we have 5. So a loaded slate tonight. 7 o'clock, NBCSN, Game 5, Islanders, Penguins. Huge game from PPG Paints Arena. Pens are minus 142, Islanders are plus 120. Over under 5.5, overs plus 114, unders minus 140. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 245. Penguins minus 1.5 is plus 198. Tough one. Sorokin, to me, tends to play better at home than on the road. I know he was really good in that game in Pittsburgh, but he did give up 3 goals. I think he regresses a little bit here in game number 5. And I don't know how good Jari will be. I'm going to go over here, plus 114. Or this is a game where it's a 3-2 game, and then the empty netter goes over. So I'm going to go over 5.5, plus 114. I'm going to say that the Penguins win and go up 3-2. 7 o'clock NHL Network, the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens. In Game 3, Toronto's minus 164, Montreal's plus 138. Over under 5.5, overs minus 102, unders minus 120. Toronto minus 1.5 is plus 162. Canadiens plus 1.5 is minus 196. I'm going to go Maple Leafs in regulation at minus 105. I think Toronto finally found their groove on Saturday, and I think they continue it. 8 o'clock CNBC, Game 5, Lightning Panthers. The Lightning are minus 116. The Panthers are minus 102. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 134. Unders plus 110. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 225. Panthers plus 1.5 is minus 280. I hate laying bigger money lines, but I'm going to do it here with the Lightning at minus 116. I think they close out tonight against the Panthers. 9:45 on NBCSN, the Oilers and the Jets. Let's see if the Jets can close out an impressive sweep. Edmonton's minus 116. Winnipeg's minus 104. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 128. Unders plus 104. Edmonton minus 1.5 is plus 230. Winnipeg plus 1.5 is minus 285. I'm going to say that the Oilers get on the board here. They were close by no cigar in game number 3 and game number 2. 2 games went to overtime. You could argue that Oilers should be up 3-1 or 2-1. I'm going to say the Oilers get a win here, just for sake. So minus 116 with the Oilers. And 10:30 CNBC of the Wild and the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are minus 180. The Wild are plus 152. Over under 5.5. Over is plus 114. Under is minus 140. Wild plus 1.5 is minus 184. Vegas minus 1.5 is plus 152. Will Vegas close them out? Not so fast. I think the Wild forced a game 6. Just because I think there's going to be a couple weird results tonight. So I'm going to say Wild forced a game 6 plus 152 at Vegas. Alrighty. Now we'll move on to Major League Baseball from the weekend as we will go over those results. And we will look ahead to the games tonight. Nats over the Orioles 4-2. Red Sox over the Phillies 11-3. Reds over the Brewers 9-4. Twins over the Indians 10-0. Mets over the Marlins 6-5-12. White Sox over the Yankees 2-1 on a walk-off single by Gleyber Torres. Braves over the Pirates 20-1. Rays over the Blue Jays 9-7-12. Rangers over the Astros 7-5-10. Tigers over the Royals 7-5. Cubs over the Cardinals 12-3. Rockies over the Diamondbacks 7-1. A's over the Angels 8-4. Dodgers over the Giants 2-1. And the Padres over the Mariners 16-1. Saturday, Yankees over the White Sox 7-0. Rockies over the D-backs 7-6. Nats over the Orioles 12-9. Rangers over the Astros 8-4. Royals over the Tigers 7-5. Brewers over the Reds 4-3. Indians over the Twins 5-3-10 on a walk-off homer by Cesar Hernandez. Marlins over the Mets 3-1. Braves over the Pirates 6-1. Red Sox over the Phillies 4-3. Cards over the Cubs 2-1. Dodgers over the Giants 6-3. Rays over the Blue Jays 3-1. Padres over the Mariners 6-4. And the Angels over the A's 6-2. Yesterday, now we're gonna go add through the records because the weekends are over, just to see where everybody is. Yankees over the White Sox 5-4 on a walk-off walk drawn by Aaron Judge. Yankees 28-19, Chicago 26-19. Nats over the Orioles 6-5. The Nats 20-23, Baltimore 17-29. As the O's lose 6 straight. Phils over the Red Sox 6-2. The Phillies 23-24, Boston 29-19. Rays over the Blue Jays 6-4 for 10 straight. Tampa 29-19. Toronto 23-22. Damn, the AL East is really good now. The two best teams in the division and a team that's overachieving. So the two best teams are playing up to par in the Yanks and the Rays. Red Sox continue to overachieve. Brewers over the Reds 9-4. The Brewers are 23-23. Cincinnati 20-25. Twins over the Indians 8-5-10. Twins 17-29. Cleveland 24-20. Marlins over the Mets 5-1. Marlins 22-24. Mets 21-19. Braves over the Pirates 7-1. The Braves 23-24. Pittsburgh 18-28. Royals over the Tigers 3-2. The Royals 22-23 on a walk-off homer by Carl Santana, by the way. 2-run shot. Detroit 18-28. Rangers over the Astros 3-2-10 on an infield single by Adolis Garcia. Texas bounces back from losing to the Yankees 22-27. Houston 26-21. Rockies over the Diamondbacks 4-3. The Rockies went on a walk-off homer by Trevor Story. They're 18-29. Arizona 18-30. Dodgers over the Giants 11-5. To complete the sweep of the Giants, they're 29-18. The Giants are 28-19, so the Dodgers are back in first place where they belong. Angels over the A's 6-5. Angels 20-27. Oakland 28-20. Padres over the Mariners 9-2. The Padres 30-17. Seattle 21-26. And the Cubs over the Cardinals 2-1-10. on a go-ahead shot by Javier Baez in the top of the 10th. They're 24-22. They're red hot. Then the Cardinals are 26-20. All right. Not many games tonight. Only 8 on the board. 1 o'clock, you have the Rays and the Blue Jays. The Rays going for a sweep here in Dublin. They are minus 130. The Jays are plus 110. Over under 10.5. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Rays minus 1.5 is plus 125. Blue Jays plus 1.5 is minus 150. It is Ross Stripling and Ryan Yarbrough. I'm going to go under 10.5. I think the Rays will pitch better, so under 10.5. 6:30, you have the Phillies and the Marlins. Zach Eflin and Trevor Rogers. Miami's minus 142. Phillies plus 118. Over under 7, minus 110 each way. Phillies plus 1.5 is minus 194. Marlins minus 1.5 is plus 160. I'm going to go over 7 for my play here. 7 o'clock, the Indians and the Tigers. Sam Hentges and Spencer Turnbull. Tigers minus 124. The Indians plus 106. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 112. Unders minus 108. Indians plus 1.5 is minus 200. Tigers minus 1.5 is plus 164. I'm going to go here with over 8.5 and minus 112. Rockies, Mets. Austin Gomber and David Peterson. Mets minus 144. The Rockies plus 122. Over under 7. Overs minus 115. Unders minus 105. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 188. Mets minus 1.5 is plus 155. I'm going to go juiced over 7 at minus 115. 7:30, Orioles Twins. John Means and Matt Shoemaker. Twins minus 110, Orioles minus 106, over under 9, overs minus 104, unders minus 118. Orioles minus 1.5 is plus 160, Twins plus 1.5 is minus 194. I'm going with the Orioles as a short minus 106 dog at the Twins. Padres Brewers, Blake Snell, Brandon Woodruff. Minus 108 each way, over under 7, minus 110 each way. Padres minus 1.5 is plus 172. Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 210. I'm going with the Brewers at home at minus 108. 8 o'clock, ESPN. Cardinals, White Sox. Kwang Hyun Kim, Lance Lynn. White Sox minus 166. The Cardinals plus 140, over under 8. Overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Cardinals plus 1.5 is minus 146. White Sox minus 1.5 is plus 122. The White Sox are sliding a little bit. They've lost a couple in a row, 1-4 in the last 5, especially after the whole Yermain Mercedes drama. Tony La Russa, there's turmoil there. Going with the Cardinals as a road dog tonight, plus 140 on national TV. At 9:30 of the Mariners and the A's, Yusei Kikuchi and Frankie Montas. Oakland's minus 168. Mariners plus 142, over under 7.5, overs minus 112, unders minus 108. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 146. A's minus 1.5 is plus 122. I'm going to go with the juiced over minus 7.5 at minus 112 for my pick for this game. Now I'm going to do WNBA from the weekend. Going to try to be quick with this as we will go over all the results from the weekend and look ahead to tonight's action. So Friday night, Mystics over to Liberty, 101-72. Mystics 1-2, Liberty 3-1. Dream over to Fever, 83-79. Dream 1-2, Indiana 0-4. Sun over to Mercury, 84-67. Sun 4-0, Phoenix 2-2. Aces over to Spark, 97-69. Aces 2-1, Sparks 0-2. Saturday, Storm over to Wings, 197 in overtime. The Storm 3-1, Dallas 1-1. Sunday, Liberty over to Sky, 93-85. Liberty 3-1, or 4-1. Chicago 2-1. Fever over to Mystics, 89-77. Fever 1-4, Mystics 1-3. Sun over to Aces, 72-65. Connecticut 5-0, Las Vegas 2-2. And then only one game tonight, live streaming on Twitter between the Wings and the Liberty. Should be a fun game. The Wings have only played 2 games. They're 1-1. The Liberty are 4-1. The Liberty have been really good. so far this season. Line's not up yet. I think the Liberty will win. They're better than the Wings. They have the best player on the court, and Sabrina Ionescu. So I'm going to say the Liberty take that one. All right. Now we will move on to my NBA awards for this season. I was supposed to do this in the NHL on Friday, but I'm going to do them on today's show. I'm just going to go through my award ballots quickly. MVP, my winner, Nikola Jokic, carrying Denver to a top 4 seed in the Western Conference, or top 3 seed, my bad. Especially once he lost Murray and Barton, he took over and carried him to a top 3 seed. Number 2, Joel Embiid, Philadelphia 76ers. I think he would have won it if not for all those missed games. 1 seed in the East. Number 3, Stephen Curry, Golden State Warriors. Carried the Warriors to the play-in tournament, which was fabulous. Although it was unfortunate that they lost to John Morant and the Grizzlies in that final play-in game. Number 4, Julius Randle, New York Knicks. He really had the best year of his career. He was fabulous. Did not play well last night in his first postseason game, but that's okay. This is a regular season award. And number 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee Bucks. I think it was overlooked how good of a year Giannis had. Back-to-back MVP winner, and I think he should be recognized again as a candidate in the top 5 of people's ballots. Defensive Player of the Year, my number 1 is Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. The best defensive player on the 1 seed in the Western Conference. Number 2, Ben Simmons, Philadelphia 76ers, the best defensive player on the 1 seed of the Eastern Conference. But to me, the injuries is why Ben Simmons didn't win and missed time. And then Gobert is just a monster, really silencing some doubters. Number 3, Draymond Green, Golden State Warriors. Really the rock of that defense of a team that really isn't deep outside of Curry and Draymond. Although they get Clay back next year. That's a contender with a couple moves. Number 4, Bam Adebayo, Miami Heat. He had a fabulous year. Defensively, as he just is a monster. Number 5, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Rookie of the Year, number 1, LaMelo Ball, Charlotte Hornets. Despite number of games misplayed, he carried the Hornets to the play-in tournament. Number 2, Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves. He really helped the Timberwolves down the stretch win some games. Yes, meaningless games that might cost them a lottery pick, but he really showed flashes of being a solid player. Number 3, Tyrese Halliburton, Sacramento Kings. Really kept the Kings, as well as De'Aaron Fox, alive for the last spot in the play-in tournament. And he was just great. Number 4, Emmanuel Quickley, New York Knicks. Really was a big part of helping the Knicks back into the postseason. And number 5, Desmond Payne, Memphis Grizzlies. Helping the Grizzlies get into the postseason. Most improved player, number 1, Julius Randle. Improved of every aspect of the game, helping the Knicks to the postseason. Number 2, Michael Porter Jr. Really has become the Robin to Jokic's Batman in the absence of Jamal Murray. Number 3, Jeremy Grant, the Detroit Pistons. To me, it was just a classic good stats, bad team, but he still is an improved player. Number 4, Mikal Bridges, Phoenix Suns. He was fabulous this year on a top 2 seed in the West. And number 5, OG Anunoby, Toronto Raptors. That fifth spot to me was wide open. You could argue Miles Bridges. You could argue RJ Barrett. You could argue Darius Garland. But I'm going to give it to Raptor OG Anunoby. 6th man of the year, number 1, Jordan Clarkson, Utah Jazz. Energy spark plug off the bench for the 1 seed. Number 2, Joe Ingles, Utah Jazz. Goes from a starter to a reserve. Number 3, Derrick Rose, New York Knicks. Just probably the best in-season pickup by any team. Gave up a second-round pick for him, and now is a 6th man of the year finalist. Number 4, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dallas Mavericks, now regulated to a bench role, and that's where he's at his best. And number 5, Miles Bridges, Charlotte Hornets, really is a good bench energy guy for Charlotte. Coach of the Year, number 1, Tom Thibodeau, New York Knicks. I'm sorry. I know Monty Williams and the turnaround of the Suns and Quinn Snyder as the 1 seed in the West. But the New York Knicks are probably not a playoff team without Tom Thibodeau at the helm. Tom Thibodeau got this team. He was probably worth 10 wins alone. You could argue he did the best coaching job with less. He's the reason why R.J. Barrett and Most Improved Player finalist Julius Randle have improved. He got a lot out of guys like Nerlens Noel, Reggie Bullock, Elfrid Payton. And those are 3 guys that I don't think are really that good. He got a lot out of them. Rejuvenated Derrick Rose. Emmanuel Quickley, great rookie. Obi Toppin got better as the season went on. He was a lottery pick. So he did a fabulous job, and I think he deserves the Coach of the Year. Second, Monty Williams, and then third, Quinn Snyder, top 2 seeds in the West. Fourth, Steve Nash, Brooklyn Nets. I think Nash did a great job in year 1. I really do. I think people undersold Steve Nash because of the 3 stars. But those 3 stars were injured at various points throughout the season, and Brooklyn still got the 2 seed. And I think that Nash did a great job in year 1. And number 5, Doc Rivers, Philadelphia 76ers, 1 seed in the East. Some questions about Embiid and Simmons and the fit. And Doc, I think, got a lot out of both players and got a lot of their role players as well. Executive of the Year, number 1, James Jones, Phoenix Suns. To me, the acquisition of Chris Paul is the reason why the Suns are a top 2 seed in the Western Conference. So he deserves all the props in the world. Number 2, Daryl Morey, Philadelphia 76ers. Morey made some good acquisitions, including hiring Doc Rivers as head coach. And then, obviously, the Danny Green pickup was humongous. The Seth Curry pickup was huge. Dwight Howard, backup center. So, to me, Daryl Morey deserves the 2 spot for Executive of the Year. 3, Sean Marks, Brooklyn Nets. You acquired a big 3. Obviously, the 3 as in James Harden. And you put the big 3 together in season. Even though Harden was hurt throughout the season, Brooklyn still found the way to a top 2 seed and really helped them in his time there, despite all the drama with the Rockets earlier in the year. Then Brooklyn had some other good pickups, Blake Griffin in season. So, I think Marks deserves a spot. Number 4, Leon Rose, New York Knicks. Gotta hand it to Leon Rose. Derrick Rose in season. There's some other guys that they picked up. Nerlens Noel, good pickup. Alec Burks, good pickup as a bench guy. The draftings of Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickley. So I think Leon Rose deserves a spot. And 5, Dennis Lindsey, Utah Jazz. The executive on the 1 seed. Brings back Derek Favors. There's some other moves that Lindsey made to make the Jazz the top seed in the Western Conference. And now we'll do the NHL awards for this season. There are some interesting ones, to say the least, as well. We will start with the Hart Trophy, and no doubt about it, Connor McDavid, the leading scorer in the league this year, ran away with the Art Ross Trophy and is by far the best player in the league. Number 2, Austin Matthews, leading the Maple Leafs to the top spot in the North Division. Number 3, Sidney Crosby, Pittsburgh Penguins, 1 seed in the East Division. You could argue Crosby over Matthews, but Crosby was just really, really good this year. Number 4, Leon Draisaitl, Edmonton Oilers. Again, fabulous year for him. And number 5, Brad Marchand, Boston Bruins. A great year for Marchand, for sure. Vezina Trophy. Number 1, Philip Grobauer, Colorado Avalanche. a great goals against, a great number of wins, save percentage, fabulous, and obviously helping the Avalanche to the President's Trophy. So you got to hand it to Grubauer, a fabulous year for him. 922 save percentage, 7 shutouts, 39-1 on the year. So to me, Grubauer is the Vezina Trophy winner. In second, Marc-Andre Fleury, obviously coming so close for Vegas to win the President's Trophy. He's regained the starting role back from Robin Lehner. 26-10, 928 save percentage, 6 shutouts. Number 3, Alex Nedeljkovic. Obviously a star rookie for the Carolina Hurricanes. Really coming in and taking over that starting role. 15-5-3. 932 save percentage. 1.9 goals against. Number 4, Semyon Varlamov, New York Islanders. Really another fabulous year for him behind that defense. And number 5, Chris Driedger of the Florida Panthers. The Norris Trophy, number 1, Adam Fox, New York Rangers, led defenseman with goal differential, a ton of points. Really a true number 1 defenseman for the New York Rangers. Number 2, Victor Hedman, Tampa Bay Lightning. Another fabulous year for Hedman. Number 3, Chris Letang, Pittsburgh Penguins. He was great this year too. 4, Cale Makar, Colorado Avalanche. Just fabulous year for him too. And number 5, Tyson Barrie, led defenseman in points, but didn't have a great plus minus. Not goal differential, plus minus is the word, but his plus minus wasn't the best. So that's why I have him 5th. The Calder, number 1, Kirill Kaprizov. To me, this is a runaway choice for Kaprizov, helping lead the Lightning to a top 3 spot in the West Division. Number 2, Alex Nedeljkovic. Just went over his numbers. He was great. Number 3, Jason Robertson of the Stars. He had a great year for Dallas. Number 4, Vitek Vanacek of Washington. Led the Capitals to a top 2 seed in the East Division, even though his goals against kind of dipped. And number 5, Igor Shesterkin, New York Rangers. A ton of wins. Not the best goals against either, but he won a lot of games for the Rangers, and they were better with him in net. And you can make a case, if he didn't get injured, maybe they would have snuck into the postseason. Remember, he got hurt in the middle of the season. Although they weren't terrible without him, but there were a lot of leaks without him there. The Selk Trophy, number 1, Patrice Bergeron, Boston Bruins. Number 2, Alexander Barkov, Florida Panthers. Number 3, Mark Stone, Vegas Golden Knights. Number 4, Joel Eriksson-Ek, Minnesota Wild. And number 5, Philip Deneau, Montreal Canadiens. The Jack Adams Award, number 1, Joel Quenneville, Florida Panthers. They overachieved this year. I think he deserves it. Number 2, Jared Bendar, Colorado Avalanche. Obviously, President's Trophy winner. Number 3, Peter DeBoer, Vegas Golden Knights. Very close to the President's Trophy. 3, Mike Sullivan, Pittsburgh Penguins. You could argue 3rd for Sullivan. 1st in the East Division. A ton of injuries throughout the year. Malkin included in and out of the lineup throughout the year. Tristan Jarry inconsistent. So good job by Mike Sullivan for really helping them. And number 5, Rod Brind'Amour, Carolina Hurricanes. Obviously, Central Division winners. And just a fabulous job by Brind'Amour. Alrighty then. Now we'll go over the latest news and notes. Not a lot to touch on, really. Phil Mickelson won the PGA Championship. Good for him. We don't have time to go over golf and NASCAR, so we'll just do it here in news and notes. We'll just go over the winners of everything. So the winner of the PGA, Phil Mickelson, and he's the oldest player to win a major at 50 years old. And Phil's sister, Tina, shares the mother's text saying, text Philip and just tell him to par in. He won't listen to his mother. And then the security had to get involved after the gallery swarmed Phil when he walked up to number 18, which was crazy. And for NASCAR winners, real quick, Todd Gilliland won the trucks, Kyle Busch won Xfinity, and Chase Elliott won Cup at COTA. Trey Young silencing the MSG crowd. He goes, it got real quiet at the end. I want to hear those FU chants again. So he really had a chip on his shoulder with the big FU chants from the Madison Square Garden crowd. And Julius Randle says that he's got to be better. And he isn't making any excuses. And he says, I will be better. I believe Julius will be better. He won't go 6 for 24 again. Obviously, if he had a better game, they would have won. But they still probably should have won that game, even with Julius Randle playing as poorly as he did. Trey Young really hit that tough shot for the Hawks to win. If that doesn't go down, then it goes to overtime. Knicks probably win the game. And then CP3 says that he'll be all right, and he will absolutely play in Tuesday night's game 2 against the Los Angeles Lakers. Alrighty. That was a quick news and notes. I had to be quick there today. We'll go over the American Idol finale now. A really great show, to say the least. And your winner of this season's American Idol, as I predicted, Chase Beckham. He was fabulous. His winner's song was 23, as he performed that in the end. The Judge's Choice song was Blackbird by the Beatles, the hometown song Far Away by Chris Stapleton, and the reprise song Afterglow by Ed Sheeran. Your runner-up was Willie Spence. The Judge's Choice song was Georgia on My Mind by Ray Charles. Hometown song A Change Is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. And his reprise song Stand Up by Cynthia Erivo. Grace Kinsler was her third place. I thought she was going to be in second, but I was wrong. She performed All By Myself by Celine Dion as her Judge's Choice song. Hometown song I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. And her reprise song You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman by Aretha Franklin. Non-competition performances. Macklemore in the top 3, Can't Hold Us. Mickey Guyton and Alyssa Ray, Black Like Me. Tom McGovern, Story of the Season, his original song. Fall Out Boy in the top 2. My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark, Light 'Em Up. Shaka Khan, Deshaun Gonsalves, and the top 8 girls did a melody of Sweet Thing, I'm Every Woman, and Ain't Nobody. Leona Lewis and Willie Spence performed You Are the Reason. Sheryl Crow and Graham DeFranco performed If It Makes You Happy, and Every Day is a Winding Road, I thought was good. Murphy performed a medley of his original songs, Am I Still Mine and The Painted Man. Luke Bryan and Casey Bishop did a duo to Living on a Prayer, which was great. Lionel Richie in the top 8 did One World Just for You. Lindsey Buckingham and Cassandra Coleman did Go Your Own Way, which was a good performance. Grace Kinsler and Alicia Cara did Scars to Your Beautiful. Luke Combs and Chase Beckham did Forever After All. And Katy Perry and Hunter Metz did a duo of Thinking of You. So it was a really fun season of American Idol. It was fun to cover it. And obviously they'll be back with the 20th season, as we don't know the status of Ryan Seacrest and the judges. If you ask me for a prediction, I think everybody will be back because this is a special show, and obviously this is Seacrest's baby, as I like to say. Obviously Seacrest is, as I say, the busiest man of in America. He does his show, Live with Kelly and Ryan. He does a show on Z100 at 10 o'clock in the morning, 100.3 obviously in New York. What is Z100's WHTZ in New York. That's their WHTZ in New York. Well, it's based out of Newark, amazingly enough. Well, they say it's New York because it's the New York metropolitan area. And then obviously American Idol every year, and then he hosts the New Year's Rock Neve show now every year as well. So Ryan Seacrest, the busiest man of in America, and I think he'll be back for the show's 20th season. All right, best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. This is a tough one, guys. I'm going to go to baseball. Okay, that good Orioles number is still there, so I'm going to go minus 106 with the Baltimore Orioles against the Minnesota Twins with John Means on the bump. I'm going to lay a half unit here with Baltimore. All right, so that's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything from the NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup playoffs, MLB, and WNBA, looking ahead to tomorrow's games. Obviously, the news and notes. Masked Singer finale is Wednesday. Maybe we'll have a guest on during the week as well. We'll see. And obviously, my best bet as well. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.